organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Tonight on Daily Iowan TV.
Breaking their silence, students protest Sally Mason's response to the sex assaults on campus.
And celebrating science, the Iowa City community celebrates Darwin Day.
And in sports, courtside is just around the corner.
Daily Iowan TV is ready to go. Good evening, I'm Erin Faust.
And I'm Melissa Dawkins. Breaking news tonight at the top of the hour, what was supposed to be Sally Mason's annual presidential lecture this afternoon quickly turned into protest. Daily Iowan TV reporter Jordan Mickle has the exclusive story.
Because Sally Mason is too afraid to. She doesn't stand with victims. Sally Mason is part of the problem at this campus.
17 protesters filed in front of Sally Mason as she was about to give her annual presidential lecture this afternoon. The protesters took the stage as a result of Mason's controversial comment in a recent interview about sexual assault. The protesters believe she was tipped off to the surprise protest and was ready to respond, and they are not happy with the university's safety efforts.
There is not a zero-tolerance policy, despite what Sally Mason just tried to say.
Mason agreed that rape is a problem on our campus, and she exchanged a short dialogue with the protesters before they were escorted out. The UI's hawk alerts were one of their main concerns.
And every time they come out, they reek of victim blaming, they reek of fear, and we want that to end.
The protesters are demanding immediate change to how the university provides safety for the students.
This university has a zero-tolerance policy for cheating and illegal substance abuse, but they don't have a zero-tolerance policy for rapists.
Actually, we do.
No, we don't.
They need to change their policies. They need to make it safer as a community and for students here.
I applaud our students for the activism that they show on this particular issue. I think it's a very important one.
While they were leaving, they were met with a round of applause by the audience. Jordan Mickle, Daily Iowan TV.
Make sure to check out the full story in tomorrow's pages of the Daily Iowan. UI colleges are partnering with Iowa City schools to try to stop cyberbullying through art.
Theater might be able to get at something, get at kids in a way that's different from the usual in-class lesson.
Members of the public got a sneak preview of The Out of Bounds, an original play meant to spark discussion about online harassment. Iowa City's working group, Theater, asked the public to weigh in on a few scenes before the May debut. Hancher commissioned the work, and the UI College of Public Health and UI Injury Research Prevention Center are all on board.
A handful of UI groups are pulling together to close what many people see as a gap between international and domestic students on campus. 50 Chinese and U.S. students attended an all-day event yesterday to discuss issues at the university. What started with strangers meeting at breakfast led to discussions about how to address negative stereotypes. Participants say this is a step in the right direction, but believe more work needs to be done to promote diversity, tolerance, and understanding on campus.
When we come back, Darwin Day, the Iowa City community dives into Earth's origins.
But first, Hannah Thompson is standing by with a look at your weather.
Thanks, ladies. As temps have indicated here in Iowa City, we seem to be experiencing one of the most brutal winters in quite a while. When we take a look at the global scale, though, it's just the opposite. January of this year is reportedly the 4th warmest January in history since records began being kept in 1880. Now you may be thinking that there is no way that this could have been one of the warmest months, but it was when it was below freezing and often below zero in our area. But according to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, temperatures around the world are continuing to rise. Last month, global temperatures of land and ocean surfaces averaged out to 54.8 degrees, which is nearly 2 degrees above the average of the 20th century. Now, no matter how much we wish the cold outbreak here in Iowa City was over, it seems like we are headed back to below freezing temps for the week. Tomorrow morning will be 9 degrees, followed by an afternoon high of 18. The evening temperature will drop down to 16 with a chance of snow showers. Taking a look at the rest of the week, expect to keep your heavy coats and scarves handy. Tuesday will be a high of 11 degrees, and Wednesday will take us to 21, making it the only day of the week to get above 20. Thursday will be the coldest day, though, with temperatures at a mere 8 degrees, and we will round out the week with Friday's temps at 14 and a slight chance for snow over the weekend. That's all the time I have for weather today. Hopefully some of this historic warmth will head our way soon. Erin and Melissa, back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Hannah.
Iowa City community members are celebrating scientific progress. This past weekend, students, faculty, and the public celebrated the annual Darwin Day with both scientific and philosophical speakers, of course. It wasn't all academia. There was cake and posters as well. The annual event started in 2007.
It's a celebration of science as a way of knowing, as a way of improving the human condition, and so it's built around Charles Darwin, but science is important in our lives.
Logston said he was impressed with the turnout for this year's events.
The Iowa City Downtown District wants people to shop locally, virtually. The district is pushing online shopping when cold days keep downtown customers at home. At least 14 businesses downtown have online shopping options. The district says everything from art to books to groceries are all available on the web.
And while not getting sleep can cause grogginess and grumpiness, the effects can actually be much more serious. Greta Miley has today's Medical Minute.
All-nighters. You'll be hard-pressed to find a college student who hasn't tried to stay up all night to cram for that test or finish that paper. But even putting aside the dangers of blasting through energy drinks and chugging coffee, just staying up all night can have some unintended consequences. Our team did a little digging, and here's what you probably didn't know about that all-nighter you're considering. Sleep deprivation hampers cognitive skills, so staying up all night may do more harm than good if your goal is to ace that test. Beauty sleep is also no secret. Not only does lack of sleep make skin more pale and make eyes puffy, over time losing sleep night after night can lead to premature wrinkles. Chronic sleep loss can put you at risk for heart problems and high blood pressure down the road. And finally, sleep deprivation can lead to poor judgment and slowed reaction times. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration estimates 100,000 fatigue-related auto crashes every year. They say people under 25 are the ones most prone to sleepy driving. There are some ways to trick yourself into getting more sleep, though. First, experts suggest avoiding naps during the day, since those midday snoozes can throw off your sleep cycle. Also, exercising, being exposed to enough natural sunlight can help you stay sharp and balanced, so you can be productive during the day instead of waiting until late at night. Finally, experts suggest avoiding big meals or caffeine right before bed. Melissa, Erin, back to you.
Thanks, Greta.
It's Sunday evening, which can only mean one thing. Courtside is back in the Daily Iowan TV sports studio. For more on everything Iowa hoops, Cody Goodwin is standing by. Take it away.
Thank you, ladies. Hoops, the centerpiece of the program this evening, with our courtside crew ready to break down some Big Ten basketball with some of the biggest names in Iowa athletics. Mike Cassell's Hoops edition of Mount Rushmore and a one-on-one interview with star junior Aaron White is just around the corner. But we start the evening with a look back at Iowa's Saturday showdown with the number 16 Wisconsin Badgers. Daily Iowan TV's Taylor Axelson courtside for this one and brings you the extended highlights. Taylor?
Number 15 Iowa playing at home against 16 Wisconsin. Iowa ended up winning the tip-off, but they lost in the paint. That's Wisconsin's Sam Decker for 2. Decker then gets a defensive rebound. He finishes the game with 8 defensive rebounds and 11 total. Decker matches up against Zach McCabe. They get into a little bit of trouble, but it's the Badgers' big man, Frank Kaminsky, that brought the heat. He had 21 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 assists. Wisconsin turned up with their outside game. Freshmen Bronson, Koenig sinking the 3, giving Wisconsin their first lead of the game. At halftime, Wisconsin's up 40-31. It's 16 minutes into the second half, marble to white, bringing Iowa within 2 points. And this is when the Oglesby show started. Josh Oglesby went 7 for 9 and made 1 of 3 three-pointers. 15 of his 17 points came in the second half. Fans all over going crazy, seeing some deja vu, even some deja 3 happening. Even Santa was a fan, but Wisconsin was not going away. Trayvon Jackson to Koenig for 2, with just over a minute to go to lead Iowa by 1 point. 16 seconds on the clock. Senior Zach McCabe comes up short, literally. He fouls out with 0 points, sending Jackson to the line, where he makes both free throws, making the score 77-72 Wisconsin. 2 seconds to go. Marble can't quite get it to fall. Wisconsin gets a season sweep on Iowa. Final score 79-74. The loss leaves big and little Hawkeyes very upset. This is Taylor Axelson, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
And with this loss, the Hawks have now lost 3 out of their last 4 home games, while Wisconsin just continues to add to that tournament resume. Both coaches with plenty to say after this one.
If we'd won, it'd be the same thing. You know, I don't look at that any differently. You got a brutal week, 2 road games and a home game against 3 really good teams.
No, it was good. They're deep. You know, we could only get them to miss shots for just so long. And then they started knocking down some jumpers. We were trying to force them into some tough 2-point jumpers, and for a while it was working pretty well.
More reaction from a number of Iowa players on tomorrow's program, including a look at Iowa's developing and troubling trend of not protecting their home court. Daily Iowan TV Sports' Rachel Bedell did catch up with one Hawk earlier this week. Aaron White is the focus of this week's courtside conversation.
Hi, I'm Rachel Bedell on a one-on-one interview with junior Aaron White. So, Aaron, you've really improved your stats a lot lately in the past year. What have you been doing to help yourself excel?
Just trying to come in, before practice, stay late, get extra jump shots in, work out with coaches, watch more film, just trying to stay prepared and, be ready for the next step.
You've been put behind the free throw line a lot lately, and you're sinking those at 81% right now. So what's your routine when you're behind that line?
Yeah, and in free throws, you have the same routine every time you go up to the line. Just take 3 dribbles, take a deep breath, and just shoot it the same way every time and with confidence.
And also when you're a visiting player at a away game and you're behind that line, crowds can get pretty ruthless. How do you block all of that out?
I think it's funny. Obviously every fan base has different things they yell, but it doesn't really bother me. It's more of a funny thing to me, and I'm just focused on what I have to do.
And how do you think our Hawks Nest is at kind of bringing a very bad environment for someone at that line?
Oh, they're tremendous. You look back at games, even the Michigan State game here, Keith Appling missed 2, and they have a big hand in that. They get together and chant good things and make them miss, so they do a good job at it.
Thanks, Aaron. That's all for me. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Rachel. And that's going to do it for us here in the studio. But courtside's not quite done yet. Our weekly 5 Things segment with sophomore Mike Gassell is ready to go down, and our own Jalen Socek and Taylor Axelson are standing by. Ladies?
Hello and welcome again to 5 Things. I'm Taylor Axelson.
And I'm Jalen Socek. Each week we're going to count down 5 new facts on Iowa basketball to give you guys a whole new insight into the team. So let's get to it.
So this past week, LeBron James said he belongs on the Mount Rushmore of the NBA.
So everyone's been trying to figure out who does deserve to have their face carved into a side of a mountain.
So we decided to ask one of Iowa's own for his opinion.
Mike Gassell has really been an essential part of the team this season. He is 5th in points and 1st in assists with 97.
Mike has not only improved as a player himself, but continues to help out his teammates. He's either making moves to get the ball into the basket or dishing it out to the outside to Marble or White.
Since you can't play with only 4 players, we asked Mike if he could pick from the entire history of the NBA who his 5 starters would be. Check it out.
If I had to pick a starting 5 at the point guard, I'd have Magic Johnson running the point. Definitely Jordan on the 2. A small forward. I got to take Larry Bird, best shooter in the NBA. For the 4, I'm picking Tim Duncan, the big fundamental. And center, I want Wilt Chamberlain. Oh, yeah. I'm not losing with that lineup.
I feel like we could really ride the bench behind those guys.
Or maybe get their water bottles for them.
That's all we have for today. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll see you next week where we'll pass 5 new things your way.
Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks so much. And only with Daily Iowan TV can you hear what the headlines will be in Monday's pages of the Daily Iowan. Ghost cab drivers. Learn if the cab that you take is actually part of a legitimate company.
And Funnel Week wrap up. Find out what bills made it through in the Iowa legislature. You can connect with Daily Iowan TV anytime by checking us out on Facebook and following us on Twitter.
Have a good night.